In this video, you'll learn 40 collocations with the verb take. So grab a notebook and let's get started. Our first collocation is to take action, and this means to do something in response to a problem or a situation. For example, the company needs to take action to address the issue of workplace harassment. Harassment is repeated negative behavior that annoys or troubles another person. This next example says, most governments have failed to take action to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. Our collocation to take advantage of means to use an opportunity to benefit oneself. This first sentence says, she decided to take advantage of the Cyber Monday sale and bought a new laptop. Cyber Monday is the Monday after Thanksgiving and is when several e-commerce websites offer special deals. This next sentence says, the chess master took advantage of his opponent's mistake and won the game. To take something badly means to react negatively or with strong emotion to something that is said or done. For example, she took the criticism of her work badly and was upset for days. The second sentence says, they took the news of the company's downsizing badly and were worried about their job security. These collocations to take captive or take prisoner mean to capture or seize someone as a prisoner. For example, the pirates took the crew of the ship captive and held them for ransom. Ransom is money paid to someone to release a person that has been kidnapped. This next sentence says, the soldiers took the enemy soldiers prisoner and brought them to their camp. The collocation take charge of means to take control or responsibility of something. For example, she took charge of the project and assigned tasks to each team member. This next sentence says, he took charge of the situation and calmed everyone down during the emergency. Here we have the collocation to take a complaint seriously, and this means to pay attention to and take action on a complaint or a grievance. For example, she took the customer's complaint seriously and offered a refund. This next sentence says, he took the employee's complaint seriously and investigated the allegations of harassment. An allegation is a statement saying that someone has done something wrong. This collocation to take into consideration means to think about or include something in a decision or judgment. This example says, before making a decision, he took the financial implications into consideration. The second sentence says, the jury took all the evidence into consideration before reaching a verdict. To take a course means to enroll or attend classes to learn a particular subject or skill. For example, she decided to take a course in photography to improve her skills. This next sentence says, he took a course in programming to enhance his career prospects. To take credit for something or take full credit for something is to claim all the recognition or praise for something. For example, he took full credit for the success of the project even though it was a team effort. The second sentence says, he took credit for the invention of the product, but it was actually his colleague who came up with the idea. This collocation here, to take delight in, means to take great pleasure or joy in something. She took delight in watching the sunrise from the top of the mountain, and he takes delight in playing with his young nephew and watching him learn new things. Here we have the collocation to take a detour, and this means to deviate from the original route or plan. They took a detour on the road trip to visit a scenic spot they had heard about, and he took a detour on his way home to avoid traffic. To take a vacation or to take a trip is to go on a break or leisure travel. He took a vacation to Hawaii and relaxed on the beach. This next sentence says, she took a trip to Chengdu and enjoyed spicy dishes for nearly every meal. The collocation take a hostage is to seize someone as captive and use them as a bargaining chip or leverage. The bank robbers took the employees and customers hostage and demanded a ransom. This next sentence says, the rebels took the foreign journalists hostage and demanded money in exchange for their release. The collocation here to take the initiative is to be proactive and take action without being prompted. For example, the team took the initiative and proposed a new project to management, and she took the initiative and organized a fundraiser for the local charity. To take an interest in something is to become interested or curious about something. For example, he took an interest in astronomy and bought a telescope to observe the stars. The second sentence says, she took an interest in environmental issues and started a campaign with local businesses to reduce plastic waste. The collocation take issue with is to strongly disagree with or challenge someone or something. For example, I take issue with your interpretation of the data. An interpretation of something is an opinion about what it means. This next sentence says, he took issue with the company's policy on sick leave. This collocation to take a joke is to laugh at a joke that is about oneself. For example, she has a great sense of humor and always takes a joke well. This next sentence says, he really can't take a joke and gets bent out of shape whenever someone teases him. To tease someone is to say things to annoy, embarrass, or upset someone. The collocation to take the lead is to take charge or be in a position of leadership or to take a position that is ahead of others. She took the lead in organizing the charity event, and the cyclist took the lead during his sprint to the finish line. This next collocation, to take a liking to or a dislike to, is to develop a fondness or aversion for something or someone. For example, she took a liking to the new intern and offered her a permanent job. This next sentence says, he took a dislike to the noisy neighbor and complained to his landlord. The collocation take a look is to examine or inspect something briefly. This first sentence says, he asked me to take a look at his car and tell him if anything was wrong with it. This second sentence says, they took a look at the property and decided to make an offer. To take the minutes is to record or write down the official notes or records of a meeting. For example, he was responsible for taking the minutes of the town hall meeting and submitting them to the mayor. This next sentence says, they took turns taking the minutes of the union meetings and keeping track of the action items. Action items are tasks that need to be completed by an individual or a group. The collocations take a photo or take a picture means to capture an image using a camera or a smartphone. This sentence says, she took a photo of the sunset and posted it on social media. And my next sentence says, he took a picture of the rare bird and submitted it to the Wildlife Conservation Society. Here we have the collocation to take pleasure in, and this means to enjoy or derive satisfaction from something. For example, she takes pleasure in reading novels and spends most of her free time with a book. This next sentence says, he takes pleasure in knitting sweaters for his 2 young nieces. The collocation to take possession means to acquire or own something. For example, they took possession of the stolen goods and turned them over to the authorities. This next sentence says, after finalizing the deal, the large company took possession of their local competitor. The collocation to take a risk is to do something that involves the possibility of danger, loss, or failure. For example, she decided to take a risk and quit her stable job to start her own business. This next sentence says, they took a risk by booking a last-minute trip to an unfamiliar destination without any advanced planning. The collocation here, take a shortcut, means to take a quicker or more direct route than usual. For example, she took a shortcut through the park to get to work on time. And this next sentence says, he took a shortcut through some residential streets to avoid the traffic jam on the main road. The collocation take someone up on an offer is to accept or take advantage of an offer that someone has made. For example, she took him up on his offer to help with her project, and he took his sister up on the offer to stay at her apartment while he looked for a job in her city. This collocation, to take someone's advice, is to follow or act upon the suggestions or recommendations of someone. For example, she took her friend's advice and enrolled in a yoga class to relieve stress, and he took his doctor's advice and started exercising regularly to improve his health. Here we have the collocation take a stroll or take a walk, and this means to go for a leisurely walk or stroll. She took a walk in the park to clear her mind and relax after a long day of work, and they took a stroll on the beach and watched the sunset together. This collocation, to take to the streets, means to participate in a public demonstration or protest. This first sentence says, the citizens took to the streets to demand justice for the victims of police brutality. Police brutality describes incidents in which a police officer hurts, injures, or kills a person. This next sentence says, the workers took to the streets to demand better working conditions and higher wages. To take early retirement means to retire from one's job before the usual or expected retirement age. She decided to take early retirement and enjoy her golden years while she was still in good health. One's golden years refers to the time later in one's life. And this next sentence says, he took early retirement to spend more time with his grandchildren and pursue his hobbies. This useful collocation, to take an exam or a test, means to participate in an examination or test. For example, the teacher took the certification test for his subject area and passed with flying colors. To pass something with flying colors means to pass a test easily. And this next sentence says, they took the final exam for the course and were thrilled to get excellent grades. The collocation, to take the easy way out, is to choose the path of least resistance or effort. For example, she took the easy way out and copied her friend's homework instead of doing it herself. This next sentence says, he took the easy way out and blamed others for his own failures. This collocation, to take exception to something, means to strongly disagree or disapprove of something. For example, I take exception to your rude behavior toward my colleague. This next sentence says, he took exception to the company's decision to lay off the employees. To take the field means to begin a game or competition, usually in sports. For example, the players took the field for the championship game, and the coach urged the team to take the field with confidence. The collocation, take the flak, means to receive criticism or blame for something that went wrong. For example, the CEO took the flak for the company's poor financial performance, and the government officials took the flak for the botched response to the natural disaster. A botched response is one that goes very, very poorly and not according to plan. To take priority over is to be considered more important than something else and dealt with first. This first sentence says, safety concerns must take priority over cost-cutting measures, and the health and well-being of the patients must take priority over everything else. This collocation here, to take a sideswipe, is to receive an indirect or unexpected criticism or insult. This first sentence says, she took a sideswipe from her boss during the meeting, and our next sentence says, the article took a sideswipe at the author's previous work. To take someone seriously is to believe that what someone is saying is important or true. For example, I take her concerns seriously and will address them as soon as possible. This next sentence says, you should take his advice seriously since he has many years of experience in the field. The collocation, to take something the wrong way, is to misunderstand or misinterpret something that was said or done. For example, I hope you don't take my comments the wrong way. I was just trying to be helpful. And he took her criticism the wrong way and became defensive. The collocation, to take time to, is to allocate or spend time doing something. For example, I always take time to stretch before exercising. And this next sentence says, you should take time to read the instructions carefully before assembling furniture from IKEA. Thank you for joining. I hope at least one of these collocations were new to you. Try to use one the next time you are speaking with someone in English, or down below in the comments. See you in the future.